I recognize that Tanya, Scott, Cecina, Kunal, Carly, Jessica, and then Joshua, Zane, and I are present. Wonderful. Okay. Is there something? It's just, Cecina, you got something?
No.
I don't know, but okay, it's a meeting. Right, approval of the agenda. We need to make amendments, right, Carly?
Yes. So, I was notified yesterday that Senate had seen 3 people, 2 who are nominees for the appeals board and 1 who's a nominee for election board chair that were confirmed by Senate last night that need to get confirmed by finance board. And the reason this needs to be on the agenda for tonight is that there's some deadline, I don't know if this is a hard deadline or more Collins deadline, about getting confirmed an election board chair and appeals board by November 1st.
It is our deadline, it's in the bylaws.
It's in the bylaws. Okay, so the hard deadline in the bylaws of getting that confirmed by November 1st, so it needs to be seen today. I wasn't made aware that there were appeals board members or election board chair until yesterday, but I tried to find a time in between when those were scheduled for to add them to the agenda based on the times that they had indicated to me they would be available tonight. So I let them know what the tentative times were. But so Saya Duran, I don't know if I said that right. I want to add her in for 6:15, so coming in right between Stilettos and ISSA, to be she's a nominee for the appeals board. You can just write like confirmation of Saya or
yeah. And then we can go in and make the legislation later.
Yes, yes, for 6:15 p.m. And then the other one, Jessica Kwan is the nominee for election board chair. I wanted to add her in for 6:40 in between Stilettos and Arab Street Union, which might.
We'll get into that after we put everyone.
Okay.
Confirmation.
Election board chair. At 6:40. So I tried to just sprinkle these in between since they only indicated a few times before 7 and like right after 7. And then the last one is for Caitlin Kaufman, another appeal board nominee at 7:30. You guys gonna have her coming after crew. I can ask her to come in earlier. Well, she said after 7, so I can ask her to come in like at 7. But and now there have been changes since when Arab Student Union submitted an allocation request. Their request was for over $3,000, but they submitted it only 30 days before their event, like exactly 30 days before their event was scheduled for. It was like 2 days after they had attended treasure training and they had been notified of the deadline. It was also listed on the allocation form that they had submitted. The deadlines for the $3,000 must be submitted at least 6 days or more ahead of time. They met with Britt initially at the end of September, on September 27th. So they had already been like planning this event for like 3 weeks before they had submitted an allocation request. So they would have had to submit it back in September in order to get the $3,000. And they had just emailed me about an hour ago today saying, because I let them know on October 18th that they couldn't get more than $1,000 from finance group, so they were trying to enable that. And they just let me know about an hour ago that they would like to withdraw their unemployed request because they were going to cancel their event. Find a way to work out $1,000. So that they will not be coming in today. They'll be withdrawn. I plan to reach out to them too to talk about how they can use Brit, because Brit indicated to me that she hadn't met with them since September. So like I don't know what they've been doing since then. So it's been like a month of them, I guess, trying to figure it out on their own. So
Radio silence.
Huh?
It's been radio silence.
Yeah, because I had emailed them. They had been spotty communicating back and forth with me as well. I think that's just like.
I'm sorry, what organization?
Oh, it's for Air Student Union. So they will not be coming.
So you can strike them off?
Do you want me to just erase it or finish it?
Yes. Crew also indicated to me yesterday that the treasurer, who is planning on coming in, is unavailable to attend the finance board meeting tonight because they have an event until 8 or something that they're going to. So I was communicating to them with like, oh, well, you could send someone else from your organization to come in at the time, or we could push you back till 8 tonight. And I think they were simply requesting to be moved back either to next week or the week after. So they will also.
Right. So guys, like I said, nice and short, but then we got the confirmations.
So I will change, I'll email those confirmed people to see if they can come in earlier, at least for Aiden Collins, the last one, to see if she can come in at 7.
All right. Can you go all the way down to the bottom of the agenda right now? And well, okay. All right, wonderful. Is there any motion on the floor?
Move to amend the
Okay.
Second.
Okay. And then move to remove Arab Student Union and remove crew, as well as add in confirmation for appeals board, election board chair, and appeals board chair.
I'll go edit those so that they have.
Yeah. All those 4, please raise your hands. 7 for, 0 against, 0 abstaining. It's nice to have a full board. Oh, well. Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. Minutes. Josh, would you have looked at the minutes? Has everyone had a chance to look through the minutes? Now, Scott, you had a comment. I didn't actually have a chance to look at that comment though, but can we get to it?
Jessica approved all the comments I made already.
Yeah, okay, that's wonderful. Jessica? Good. So your concerns are addressed? Okay. How are y'all
For
doing?
the minutes from last week, I just want to clarify with Russian club.
Yep.
I think I had said something about that in the Slack with the total in there.
You can search. Control F Russian. Or,
Just click the down arrow.
yeah, until we get to the, there we go, and then scroll down.
It was at the end of discussion or something, like right before the vote. Discussion.
More,
It's down more.
more down, more. There you go.
There is the total.
Oh,
So-
it's missing a 0, I think, right?
Yeah, it's supposed to be 10,000. I'll double check the number.
870,
But it's
wasn't it?
supposed to be 10,000.
870.
Something like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
27 cents.
Yeah. Oh.
Because they had gotten a copy of these minutes like last week right after the meeting, and then they came to me and were like, "What is this? This is not." And I was like, "No, it's $10,000. Like this isn't actual website. Like this
So I'm
is
saying $10,708.27.
10,700.
8.
Yeah, December 8th.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So,
708.27. All right. And put it in that comp right now, get rid of more computers. Wonderful. All right. Any more motions on the floor?
or to approve the minutes
Boom.
from October 23rd.
Okay.
Second.
All right. All those for approving the minutes from October 23rd, please raise your hands now. 7 for, 0 against, 0 abstaining. Keep on moving it. Precedence document. Has everyone had a chance to look through the precedence document? I know, Scott, you had a couple little things you
Yeah.
wanted to say. Tanya, I addressed that one. We're going to add that onto the limit set from SGA Baja. Have I not addressed any of the other ones yet? Could you go down a bit, Tori's? For the food one, because the exact, definitely, the way that we pronounce it, I don't think we've actually finalized that yet. So, like, what is our definition upon food? The criteria?
I think-
find it.
I think that's coming up later.
For clarification,
Yeah.
food wasn't like define food, it was
Yeah.
like define what you fund food for.
Okay.
So like you don't typically do general body meetings.
Right.
So like stating food that is for events open to the all campus.
Okay. We can definitely add that in.
What if they're general body meetings are open to all campus?
We think that we don't have to buy any food. Yeah, it has to be events open for the general code, and we define what events is, so.
We still need to do that in the document.
Yeah. Right, so we can just add, Joshua, can you add in, yeah, just down there, yeah. what's the exact wording we'd like to use for this one, everyone? Finance board funds food for events open to all UMPC undergraduates.
I would still say like non-general fund.
Non-general body, essentially. Yeah, there we go. Is that good enough?
I think we should decide that one after today's next meeting.
Yeah, I was hoping to approve them.
No.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I think we've done this like enough to a point where we have good cases on how we look at food.
Yeah, food's like one of those more difficult precedents that we operate with.
Yeah.
We'll fund food for events. We'll fund. We'll fund for that. All right, Joshua, this is not grammatically coherent.
I was like, wait.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
We'll fund food. I'm probably just missing the word.
We'll fund food
For the purpose of.
for the purpose of. Yeah.
For, should you
Events.
say for non-general body meeting type events?
Yeah, yeah. The finance board will fund food for the purpose of non-general body meeting events. Type events. I don't even think we need that. Just like
Purpose? You still need to say purpose?
I don't think we need to that much. Do we?
So we'll fund food for non-general body meeting type events such that it like follows these things or
Is that really something we can do?
Or would it be easier to say fund food for SGA funded events open to all UBC undergraduates would take, yeah, and then, because that would
Yeah.
like take out the general body meeting thing altogether because we don't fund them.
Well, they're tight.
I think it's like, yeah.
Yes. What's up?
I like Tanya's wording.
Josh,
So the links that are on this.
Yeah, they all open up to the same thing, but then you click the FBO2 180 because I put a little bit of work onto them.
I like how you can have section. What president of the section? No, it's actually good at the legislation. Being able to sign it. Very good.
It's like if we're inconsistent with something, they can pull this up and then they go like, hey, but you did it for FBO 71819.
We'll do that. Ooh, good receipts.
receipts.
Good receipt.
And then capitalize finance and board, please. Come on.
I didn't type that part.
All right, come on, guys. We are.
What?
I don't know. Like,
I like that. I like the
then Tori, have I guessed all of these then, essentially?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Let's go down a bit more. Registration fees.
Yeah, you want to talk about rental rent, Scott?
The band policy said, I think it was fine.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
We already funded.
Candace said there's like a minimum that a band can seat.
Hopefully it's late, I think.
I think once they get here, we'll deal with that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But doesn't give the general gist of what it
It's
is.
a general
But
issue.
But I think it's actually like
It's
a
a
policy.
policy.
Yeah. So I want to just make sure that's clear.
Yeah.
I don't object to having it in there because if this is something they're going to look at beforehand.
This
they
is supposed to
should-
be a general thing. We're not going to the minutia. That's the thing. We need this to be actually accessible rather than having every single slight detail in there.
You can say rental bans have been set at a precedent of 100% of funding as
accordance.
long, and yeah, in accordance with UNBC, yeah, in accordance with UNBC policy.
Yeah.
Just like that.
As long as there's like a
Is
disclaimer
that
there.
a budget
Not every band.
policy, or is that a?
No, it's fine. It's a university policy.
Which
Okay.
link?
Yeah.
We need to link the document.
It's a university policy.
Surrounding bands.
There's that policy. Yep, there we go. All right. Keep going down. Yeah. Common household items. We're gonna probably end up doing that. Hasn't happened yet. Towards the end of the year. I'm just gonna give them a forewarning. Scroll down.
How do you guys feel about furniture? Like, for example, for a set piece of theater production.
Indeed.
And that will probably be on the agenda for next week.
Yeah, yeah. So remember, guys, for that one, we can't set it yet because we need to see things come in before we can set precedent for it. But
Yeah, but
yeah, but no, it's definitely something we should think about.
Has that
Year
happened
before.
before?
So,
last year.
organizations such as TheaterCom, the Theater Club, will ask for essentially props and sets. You know,
Set
It's
yeah,
like
set
set
pieces.
pieces for the
Yeah.
stage. Yeah.
Yeah, and so the finance board in the past years, we funded nearly all the required buildings that, like wooden planks, etc., nails, those type of things. But last year, I don't think we did fund the chairs and
You're
stuff,
right.
did we? We did not.
Was there a reason for that? Or?
It can be seen as,
Storage, like,
Yeah.
that needs to be.
like, the equipment committee has like an entire thing with things that were normally require inventory, etc., and require the SGA to track these type of items. In this case, it's no longer, like, technically speaking, the finance board is supposed to treat everything as one-off.
Mhm.
But in this one, I don't think you can overlook the usability of these things after the event is done. It's just like, you can't give them the plausible deniability. Oh yes, all of these chairs will magically burn up at the end of this theater production.
So that's Dawn with over 15. But like, was the differentiation? Wow, I love English. Like, but from costumes that were purchased in there, kind of like readjust because like size and like it would like store, because you can store those more
Yeah.
than like a full couch.
No, I mean, like,
Like
for
for
costumes, it's like, I assume they don't have the same event going on again and again every single year. So
Yeah,
it's
that's also
Yeah.
justification.
They're
Okay,
not
that
as
makes sense.
applicable, so.
But that's a fair point. Yeah. It could be seen as like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. So that's what I'm probably going to be rolling with when the theater companies, theater organizations come in. We'll help you build all the stuff, props and stuff like that. We're gonna go through the props, like, household items. You're gonna provide those, costuming and stuff like that. We can make a one-off assumption on those ones. Assume you're not gonna be using these again, and we can go with that. Okay. We show that a bit more, and the last one I believe is that. So Brit Spears one is not correct right now. I need to change that to is she still the one who negotiates contracts?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
I need
she
to
is.
change that to, what's your coordinator of student events? No.
Oh.
Brit Spears.
It was supposed to be Jen, I thought it was it used to be Jen Dress.
Jen Dressier used to do it, but she got promoted.
Britt talked about that last week. That's
Yeah,
right.
Fred does it
Yeah.
now.
Okay.
For all, I'm bringing up her
Yeah,
official.
official title, change that to her official title.
Isn't she the coordinator for student event for planning?
I think so, something like that. But what?
Student event advisor. I think so.
Yep. As I brought it up, that's, yep.
All right.
Say coordinator
Yeah.
Yeah.
for the constructs.
Coordinator for student event advising.
Yep.
I don't remember. She said it like 5 times since she came to the meeting the other week. And so I introduced herself and kept forgetting her name.
Yeah. And then we'll put her email later. I can do that later. So I can worry about that one. And so the last one that we need to go over is giveaways. So ASA crowns are given away. And it's definitely something that we
It's
can
event
talk about.
advising, there's no answer.
Yeah, technically finance board in the past, we have not been very favorable on funding for giveaways. The reason why I essentially overlooked it was essentially, I thought they were sort of just like costumes, so it's just like, if we're willing to do it for theater, I don't see why other organizations are facing other type of.
Hello.
Grab a seat, grab some time, grab some chips.
Yeah.
We have candy.
Right.
So,
Yeah, so in my mind, it was a bit more like costuming. So for these organizations, you can make the assumption again that after 1 year, you need a line of use that way, essentially. Yeah, so that's my thing.
yeah.
Scott?
So they have to be.
Giveaways? Okay, Scott. I agree, we need to revisit this one right here.
We're talking about possible costumes. Or just giveaways?
No, for giveaways, for ASA, because ASA we gave away sashes and crowns. And those are giveaways to students, yes. In my mind, this was sort of the costume for an event. Yeah, give them the costume for the event. And
It's also like the purpose of the event was
Those two
to
crowns the winner.
sash someone.
yeah. Yeah.
That was like your business, but.
I don't think it's just like the purpose of the event is to give things away. You know?
Yeah.
It's not as good of a reason, I think. You think like, the purpose of this event is to give away guys free tuition. Can we give you guys $25,000?
Yeah, but I feel like that falls under different ones.
Yeah, but in my mind, this is like costume, right?
Yeah.
Costume for the event. or the kids really need the full for it, and it's like, all right, very well. And then we'll assume after a year long worth of use, it's gone. Right?
Yeah.
That was my justification for it. And everyone all right with this type of justification?
Then you should probably add that in there.
Okay.
I think mine was more on what happened in the Russian club.
Yeah. What do you mean?
With the,
With the plush dogs?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we agreed to the idea that they're mainly as decorations that will be gotten rid of.
So as
And
long
how
as,
gotten rid of is.
so as long as giveaways have a primary purpose, then it's not being given away.
Yeah, I guess.
Was that good justification? Yeah.
Yeah. And their primary purpose that isn't just for you to give it away.
Yeah, that's what I
Is that like making people throw stuff away just so we can fund it?
Yeah.
How weird.
Alright. Hit enter. Got it.
What is it?
Giveaways must have a primary purpose other than being a giveaway.
You can word that better.
Yeah.
In order,
In order to receive financial funding, giveaways must must have a secondary purpose. Must have a primary purpose other than must have a primary purpose in the event. Something like that, other than being given away. I don't know. Tanya, you got this. She's at the writing center. She's good at this. Or she was at the
Gosh, what
writing
is with
center.
this two computer thing?
Thanks for coming in, guys. I think we have you guys scheduled at 6 o'clock, so we're gonna be with the time we got to do something. Stuff like that. So.
Sure. Yeah. You decide who's gonna do what? There's only two.
There's only two, yeah. You want to be voluntold or who wants to volunteer?
Scott, you wanna do one? I do one? Or you don't wanna talk today? Or?
We are pretty fast today. I talk all the time.
Okay.
I see which other one class.
Kunal Susina!
I'm the
Sitting right across from me. Congratulations for being
Hi
voluntold.
there.
Yeah, alright, Susina, you want
It doesn't matter.
Information System Security
I'll do
Association?
it.
Oh.
It's
You
okay.
want,
It's okay. I'll just.
do you want the other one?
You got me. Okay.
Trying to do that. Name tag for it. Right. Kunal, you got
Still out.
ISSA.
No, it's still out. I'll do it.
Oh my gosh. Alright.
You still have general for tonight.
Then Susina, right. We'll do that shortly. There we go. Can you go back to that agenda for me? We'll come back to this at the end of the meeting.
No, we have general consent.
Yep, we have a general consent. Retriever Immigrants United is requesting the hold an event on campus for pre-professionals for, let's see the exact title of it, up a little bit. Grad School Professional School 101 for occupied document students and TPS students. Just to hold an event on campus. All student organizations should have the ability to hold events on campus. So I see no issue to issue their $115.
Yes.
It's just.
$114 worth of ECS fees.
Straight up.
We'll move on general consent on this one.
Yep.
Is there a motion? on the
This is
floor?
also a new student organization. I met with the treasurer a couple weeks ago to get this request in and everything. They asked a lot of questions and I gave them all the information and they did great responses about everything. So yeah, go new student organizations, and to clarify, it is for undergraduate students looking at graduate school or pre-professional programs and not for graduate students.
Right. Okay. Is there a motion on the floor?
Move to approve. Okay, you got it.
Yeah.
I move to approve FPL 45-1819.
Second.
All right. All those for approving FBO 45-1819, raise your hands now. 7-4, 0 against, 0 abstaining. Moving along.
How much was it for? Yeah.
$114. Okay. Now we have ISAA in the room. How do you guys want to say the name of this organization? ISA, ISAA? ISA?
Yeah.
Okay, ISA. All right. ISA is requesting money for everyone to adopt these, or you know this about, right? Because I didn't have time for the pre-meeting, so
We can do the introduction first.
Also, you guys have a presentation, correct?
Yeah, something short.
Okay.
Something sweet, yeah.
You want to do introductions and then we go present? That makes a
Yeah,
lot more sense.
that makes some more sense. All right, we're gonna do our introductions first, so you'll know who's here essentially, and so we can know who you guys are. Hello. Yep, that's what we're gonna do. Hello, my name is Daniel Wang. I'm the current chair of the finance board. I use he/him pronouns, and I'm a voting member. We'll go to this one.
Hi, my name's Tanya. I'm vice chair for finance board. I use she, her pronouns. I'm also a voting member.
And please introduce yourselves. Okay.
So my name is Abbas Mahmood, and I'm the secretary of ISSA, as well as Information Systems and Security Association.
Hi everyone, I'm the president of ISSA for about a year now. Fun fact, me and Carly went to high school together, even though I was only there for a year. I went to Seneca. I went to Northwest. Northwest, yeah.
Oh my god!
No problem. Yeah, we didn't really talk much, but.
Yeah.
She was great at soccer. I was surprised she was on soccer team.
Oh, no, not that.
Yeah, very nice to meet you all.
Scott Buchanan, finance board representative, voting member for NCM.
So Sina, voting member, finance board representative, and my pronoun is she, her. Welcome.
I'm Kanal, finance board representative, pronouns he, him, and voting member.
Jessica Jones, finance board secretary of SGA. I'm Chloe Soka, I'm the SGA treasurer. I use she, her pronouns. You look so familiar, like.
Probably so overwhelmed.
Yeah. Good to see you.
See you too.
My name's Lynn Kim, senator.
Hello, how are you doing? My name is Joshua, first year ambassador.
Sorry. Oh, go ahead. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you were still saying something. I'm Tori Gisley, I'm the coordinator for student organizations. I'm an advisor for SGA, she, her pronouns.
Hi, I'm Zane. I'm the vice president for student organizations.
All right, wonderful. Thank you very much for coming in. So we have an incognito window open for you guys. You guys know how to do this, right?
Yep.
Wonderful.
That's what we do.
So, like I said in the email, 5 to 8 minutes to get through your presentation, and thank you very much for this. IS 101 at 75.
IS 101.
Wait, it's required to find that.
Yeah.
No, I don't find that major, but apparently I have to take it. I'm like,
89 to take.
Interesting.
I took it last year.
Yeah, it's not a very difficult class. Though.
I got a 97.
Look at this big bar over here. All right, 97. Yeah. Get out this way.
One, show how it's done.
Oh, all right.
Yes.
If I don't take classes.
Oh, can we use your honor now? No.
Yes.
On the board, I was like.
All right, guys, take it away. Would you like someone to operate the computer for you?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Joshua, if you might. Thank you very much. So, Josh, so just tell them when you need the next slide and he'll do what's required.
Okay. Hello everyone. So we just met, and so we're asking to fund one of our events happening on November 12th. And this presentation is just going to be an intro to our student org, what we do, and what we're asking for. So I think it'd be a good way to introduce our connection to our professional chapter with some of the technology consulting firms that sponsor it. So if you don't know any of these, they're mostly Fortune 500. All of them Fortune 500. They're all technology consulting firms. Huge day of huge part of modern day technologies, and as well as a couple of defense contractors like Parsons and Booz Allen Hamilton. This was intimidating to me at first because I went to one of their conferences and everyone was wearing a little name tag that said where they're working. That's kind of like where I wanted to work, but I think it's really cool to have a professional chapter that is so involved with technology industry.
Okay, so just a little bit about what ISSA's mission is and what we have going on here. So we want to bring together technology majors in order to network with IS cybersecurity professionals. So this really helps us, allowing our members and everyone to network and meet people within the industry. And so we aim to enhance the knowledge, skills, and professional growth of our members in order for them to be successful in the IT industry. And so that's a lot about the content and knowing about different branches and different parts of the industry. You know, we have different speakers from different groups that come along to speak, so our members can learn about that. And then it also looks good on your resume and will make you stand out to employers, because of the fact that, you know, in this day and age, you know, the demand for requirements for entry-level jobs and things like that is very competitive. And so, you know, these days it's like, hey, see an entry-level job and it says you need 5 years of experience. It's like, you know, what's going on there. So with this, you know, it really shows you that you had that, you know, attendance in, you know, that professional environment. So it's a really, really good look there. And so then also to learn about emerging technologies such as AI, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and natural language processing. And that's just more with the different events and different content that we have, you know, that's encompassing of what this is really about.
So this is just a picture of our members to give a little introduction. From the right is Kara, our Vice President of Operations. We have Wes next to her, and next to him is me. Next to me is Bianca, our Treasurer. On her left is Andrew, our Vice President of Communications, and on his left, or his right, is Sonali, who is the Executive Vice President. So this is just an example of some of the events that we hold. The first one is the actual event that we're asking for funds for. But that's not the only type of event we do. So the type of event that we're doing on November 12th is a reverse employment session. I'm sure you guys have heard of the career centers. Coined the term. We're essentially a Fortune 500 company. Talent acquisition specialist comes to campus and prevents an initiative for internships, co-ops, entry-level jobs. It's a really good opportunity to get one-on-one with these people, where usually it's the other way around, and they have the comfort advantage. Yeah, so we also hold like Stress Busters, which is like lunch and learns, where we do just short intros into cutting-edge technologies. We usually do one of those every semester, because different people all the time. And yeah, so those are Socratic, and where they can ask us any question that they want. So what is this event all about? So we kind of made a big score in getting our vice president of our professional chapter to come to campus. Now the accommodations to 25 Live weren't really a problem, but just kind of reaching out to him and getting him to come was a big deal. This is a federal holiday, November 12th, it's Veterans Day, so that's the reason that he's able to come. So it's going to be a 2-hour lunch and learn from 12 to 2, and he's going to do an intro to life in cybersecurity. We're planning to have a bunch of faculty come in from the office department, so it's going to be a big event to network. The room capacity is around 40, but I don't think that'll be a problem. And yeah, so it'll have a couple of those bullet points like intro to cutting-edge cybersecurity technologies, important facts behind job titles, advice on entry-level and internship pursuits. He's a great guy. He's worked in a bunch of different companies, whether those are in the government or in the private sector. On the right side, there's just a huge list of companies that he's worked in after he graduated from Johns Hopkins with his master's in computer science. So, I mean, we were really happy to get him to come to campus in a situation like this, and we're hoping to make a very comfortable environment for his presentation.
Okay, so how are we advertising for our event? So advertising main thing is, you know, we have we're on 3 different mailing lists. You know, ISSA's mailing list, and ISCON, and IEEE. And so, you know, we have the UMBC Works, and, you know, different promotions and things like that. So a lot of it's the newsletters, the IS related. So we're really sending that out. So try to get it to as many people as we can. And so the role of food and what it constitutes. So we like to provide hors d'oeuvres to supplement the wonderful speaker that we have coming in. And so the main thing, just to be clear, is that, you know, food is not the incentive for this event, because, you know, just as Mohammed mentioned, that, you know, we have the vice president of our professional chapter is coming. You know, whether, like, if I was not the secretary, you know, I would definitely want to attend this meeting, even if there was, you know, food or not. And so, as well as, you know, it's a 2-hour session from 12 to 2. It should have refreshments, as it's, you know, it's during lunchtime. And, you know, it's 2 hours long, and he's traveling, and he's coming out of his way to, you know, come out here. So we want to have the appropriate refreshments and whatnot for this event.
Okay, so we have a few plans to for carryover. So our constitution was rewritten last semester. I don't know if any of you have talked to me about this before, but our president and our previous secretary stepped down at the same time because the org was in decline, I guess. So I took over. I was acting executive vice president at that time, and then I became acting president. And so I had to kind of, you know, pick up the slack wherever I could. I rewrote the Constitution. I hired 2 new members, And one of the things I did was I integrated fundraisers. So we're going to be selling webcams, covers that say ISSA on them, to fundraise, as well as bake sales. So we haven't done any of that yet, but we hope to have one by the end of the semester, as well as one at least every semester. We participate in any of those, any of the contests you guys hold always, as an opportunity arises, and we'll use hopefully some local restaurant programs. Yeah, and one of the pluses, sorry, Josh. One of the pluses about this event is if you attend any of ISSA's events this semester, the professional chapters offer a free membership to their website, which is just a promo code that you use when you're logging in. It's like a premium subscription. And you get all the PowerPoints from their conferences, which have the latest news, current events that are relevant to the industry, things like that, newsletters, and all that good stuff about technology. So what are we doing to minimize costs? Well, there's a few things. I have 4 listed here. Whenever we order food, we're going to use the best coupons that are available, of course. Food is going to be ordered conservatively. We can proceed with the lower budget, and we have the Career Center doing a couple things like parking in the small group.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you all.
You guys got to take a seat. Go right into it. That we can open up the budget. Closing.
Yeah, I can close that. That'd be great. Thanks.
Right. So $160 worth of pizza. Can you go to the quote for pizza, please? Right. Okay. Just the fun button to make it a little bit smaller. Okay. So, 2 toppings. So, Kylie, is this having the deal that we currently have with Papa John's? That's back in order, isn't it?
Yes.
So,
So
we're going to utilize that?
it's, I think this is for Papa John's right down the street. I don't know, that road doesn't look great.
Poplar.
And it's not quite the same as it was before. It used to be $7 cheese pizza and $8 for one topping, and now it's $8 cheese pizza.
Okay.
I don't remember what the exact deal is now, but it has been restored and has been.
Okay, could they utilize that deal to acquire these pizzas? I think it might be a bit cheaper then.
Yes, so those are the things.
Just clarification for you all, can you go to the next document in the folder? Yes. So this one actually, can you scroll over to that full picture?
Oh, it's
Shows it for 113, 107. Do you know which one is?
It should be the one that says 147 on it.
Okay.
Yeah, so the amount we requested is just 160 for the tip as well. But yeah, this is the one that
147.
140. Yeah, 147.
Okay.
Okay. 146.56, and the total request you guys have done is like 160, right? Yeah. Okay. Wonderful. So if you scroll back down to that, sorry about that. Yeah, no, perfectly fine. I think organization answered all of our questions. Is there anything else you'd like to ask? Stop.
How did you come to the number of attendance of 40? Seems like a really cool event.
So last semester when we had an event of this nature, we had around 37 attendance, or it was 37. So that's why I did 40. And this actually we're including more advertisements, more methods of advertising. So we're hoping for a little more.
Okay.
Sorry, I do want to reduce costs as much as possible, so SGA does have a deal with Papa John's down the street over there where we can require reduced prices. I imagine you guys were just ordering cheese and pepperoni, right?
No, we weren't.
Oh, you weren't.
No,
Never mind that.
We were doing a deal with two large 2-topping pizzas
Okay.
for it was yeah, so it's 4, so they're 10 each. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just like, can provide that as an option to you. It's just like if you'd like to reduce costs a bit, you know, order another pizza or something, I don't know, like, you know, it's just like, we do have that deal, so like, if you guys are cognizant about that, if that's something that we use.
I think this is technically less.
Is this technically less?
Like, if you go by value, like not the final number, but like the value because it's 2 topping.
Okay. Well, we're just going to defer to you guys at this point. Would you like to retain what you guys currently have right now? Yes. Okay, that's perfectly fine. We'll defer to the organization. So we retained on that one. Are there any other questions for the organization? Carly?
Hi. So what is the kind of layout or breakdown of the event? Like, how will it go?
So I think Colin reached out to us and asked an SGA representative to come in and talk about or bring up some things. So I don't know about what's happening with that. That's an option.
Oh, okay.
For
For the event?
Yeah.
Oh.
But there's gonna be like, so basically I'm gonna have a short, intro to Mr. Chan. Depending on if we have hors d'oeuvres or not, we'll have a break for that to gather it, whatever, have your plate. And once everyone's finished eating, then Mr. Chan will proceed with his presentation.
Are there any other questions for the organization?
You mentioned, was it UMBC website you the event with?
Yes.
Is there also my UMBC event, or do you have access to that?
Yeah, that was actually one of the
chosen
ones.
Okay, sorry, I missed it.
No, that's okay.
Okay. Is there another question? We're going to do a period of discussion. During discussion, it's limited to finance board members only. After discussion is over, we'll open up to a period of response for you guys. So if there's anything you want to address that the finance board has said, or if there's any questions you'd like to ask the finance board, you're able to do that. Thank you. So, who'd like to begin? $160.
Okay. I think it's very minimal and reasonable. Like they're just asking for the price of pizza, and as I was looking through the cost for each, I think it's very reasonable. And they're not asking for anything crazy. I would want to fund it.
All right. Anyone else?
Again, or Mayor, what Cecilia said, definitely like minimal request. There was definitely like attempt to cut costs. Sponsorship that they're having with outside of UMBC seems great. I really like the fundraising ideas. They're unique in some aspects compared to what we've seen previously, even if they haven't happened yet. I don't see food as being an incentive here, and yes.
Sure. So, of course, I'd like to throw in my always little thing, but yeah, perfectly fine with this current iteration of pizza ordering. Generally, I'm a bit more, I review a bit more on requests that request pizza, as pizza has oftentimes been used as an incentive for organizations or for students to come out. In this certain case, it's 12 to 2. It makes sense to have pizza during this time before students really participating through the entirety of the event. And the pizza does not seem to be the main incentive to draw students, or it seems like it just be an incentive to draw students. It seems like it's just something for the event to occur. So in that case, I am in favor of fully funding as well. Is there a motion on the floor?
Can you see the legislation?
Yes. Joshua. 46.
Move to approve FBL 46-1819.
Okay.
So can we get that back open for?
Oh,
Yeah, I
right,
forgot
sorry.
about that. Do you guys have any questions, or would you like to respond to anything the finance board has said during discussion?
I don't want to pamper anyone, but thank you all for being so accommodating.
Yeah. All right, so we're good. We're good. All right, let's move along. Tanya.
Okay, so move to approve FBL 46-1819.
All right. All right. All those for FBL 46-1819, raise your hands now. 7-4, 0 against, 0 abstaining. Thank you for coming to the finance board. Tanya will talk to you about next steps, and if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, please relay those to her, and she'll get those back to us. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for making the presentation. Like, you guys were super polite throughout the whole process.
So, Saya is currently in the room for confirmation as appeals board member. We're going to give that into the legislation tracker, and I didn't have knowledge of this when I'm updating the legislation tracker. Can Jessica probably do that, please? Great. Yeah. All right, Liam's going to be updating the joint legislation. So, with the mayor, I think this is a bit short notice for all of us. However, we're going to get right into this. Say what time you got to get out of here. Okay, so we're not going to keep you for that, don't worry. We'll get you to class on time. Nice. Is it in the Senate legislation?
No, it's in the other one. Check. Oh, no.
Yeah, get that put in there, and then we can start off.
introduce why you guys are.
What kind of finance would say? Have you done it before? Oh, wow. Oh, all right, wonderful. We'll do a round of introductions. My name is Daniel White. I'm currently not the chair of the finance board. I'm a voting member. I'm kind of right, you know? I'm the current chair, and I use e-pronouns. So if we'd like to go this way.
I'm Thea. I am nominated for the Appeals Board. Can I issue her
Scott Buchanan, Finance Board Representative. I'm a voting member.
So Sina's Finance Board member, voting member, and my pronouns are she.
No, finance board representative, finance board member as well.
Jessica John, Finance Board Secretary.
Hi, Vice Treasurer, SGA Treasurer.
I'm Mabel Fletcher, Vice President for CC.
Liam Campus.
Hello, Joshua Gray, Freshman.
I'm Tori Beasley. I'm the coordinator for student organizations. I am advisor of Finance Board Shakers.
I am Zane. I'm the Vice President for Student Organizations. He's a voting member.
And then Tanya's outdoors. She's the vice chair of the finance board. She's a voting member, and she's she, her pronouns. So this is actually the first confirmation the finance board's had in a while. You know, it's a bit weird because last time was.
Oh,
yeah, but like
right here.
I'm sorry, say that again.
There's a comment if you want to know the legislation. There should be there's a comment with the link for the legislation.
So now, like, right now I'm facing the issues generally with nominations. They have the person who's introducing the legislation, giving a little spiel beforehand about the nominee. But we don't have that right now. Just Colin and are here. Okay.
I mean, here for what?
Can you?
Yeah, that's what I'm here for.
Oh.
Can you introduce it?
You can talk about it, can you?
Because we've already passed this.
Yeah.
And I'm a sponsor for it.
Okay. All right.
Because I'm part of the nominating.
Wonderful. Leon, take the floor.
All right, so this is Saya. She is the nominating committee's our nomination for a member of the appeals board. The appeals board is part of the judiciary part of SGA. The appeals board is it comprises 5 members, 3 of them from student conduct and 2 of them from SGA. The appeals board only meets when certain situations occur, which would either be if someone has an issue with their stipend and would they did not receive the full amount and they have an issue, they bring that to the appeals board. The appeals board would meet. If during an election a candidate does something and then the election board deems that they're going to be disqualified from the election, they can appeal that. The appeals board will meet. And the final one is, and I have to make sure I get it right, if one SGA officer has accused another SGA officer of improperly using material items and other things from the bylaws. Basically, if you have an issue with another SGA officer and that conflict arises past to a point where it's not resolvable, it would then go to the appeals board.
All right. Wonderful. So we're gonna say, you want to say something?
I'm Saya. I guess I'll just tell you why I really wanted to get back into SGA since I resigned last year. I used to be on finance board, so sorry guys. But I'm trying to ease my way back into SGA and kind of put myself into something like finance board, which is super involved. And there's a lot of hours per week. And so because appeals board is kind of on a random basis, not that many meetings, I feel like I could definitely be fine with the amount of hours and I won't go as long.
So we're gonna open it up to the board to ask questions to you. Questions from the board?
Scott, you and I asked for questions.
Yeah, sound good.
I'm good as well, so.
You're good?
Yeah.
We're not gonna have any questions from the minutes.
And
All right, Tanya, I'm sorry.
Okay, so you mentioned how there's, as far as the recipients or, those who receive stipends will, of course, come to the appeals board and whatnot. How do you,
Oh, no.
sorry.
Yeah.
He did, I'm sorry. Anyway, so that can be slightly scheduled, having right after SRC appeals are eligible. So is there a plan do you feel that your schedule's accommodating for that random influx.
I'm pretty flexible. The only thing I'm really doing are my classes. Not doing too many extracurriculars right now. I have a lot of time to chill out and sleep. So, I mean, I have time, is what I'm saying. Like, I'm like on top of my schedule right now. Yeah, if that's true.
Questions?
Kind of talked about this a little bit already, but why appeals board? Getting involved with appeals board opposed to another ranking?
Well, appeals board, I mean, that one, okay, so I didn't really have a reason at first. It was because I kind of wanted to get involved in SGA, and Con had a spot for appeals board to like nominate. But I do think that appeals board is an important part of SGA because it's kind of like a second pair of eyes. Like after a first decision is made, let's say in like SRC, then like appeals board would look at it again, and I think that like it's like a good like part of SGA to keep it like unbiased. Yeah, it's very disappointing.
What experience do you think would be helpful if you were like nominated to, or a firm for the appeals board? They've had in the past.
Like what future experience?
No, like what past experience do you think like is going to be helpful, or like experiences that you've had in like leadership?
In leadership, or just like in SGA, or like any leadership?
Just like any experience.
Well, I'll say the SGA. So I was on finance board for like a month. I was an FYA. I was on the SRC for one semester and nominating committee. I think those things will help me because I know how SGA works. I know how people get. I mean, I know how SRC works. I know how people kind of lose their stipend, and then I kind of like understand how to get there. I've also run for a position, so I think that's another thing that SRC does, appeals board does, is where if someone's running and something goes wrong, they can come and appeal that, so I can understand from their point of view. What leadership stuff? I don't know. Right now, I'm the vice president of Prudential Society. I guess it helps me be a little bit more assertive. I think when I was on finance board 2 years ago, I didn't really talk a lot, and I think it's because I was just a freshman / sophomore a little bit, and right now I'm like a little bit more open to speaking and like stating how I feel in my mind, things like that.
Okay.
I have a question. So since you have been rather involved with SGA before, and you do know people who are currently in the organization, how would you try to remain unbiased if someone were to appeal, someone that you know would appeal?
So I mean, okay. So I can't abstain from that. I already know. I mean, I would just try my hardest to, you know, not be a biased person, make the best decision that I can possibly make. I don't know a lot of people on SGA right now just because I haven't been in SGA for a while, but if the few people I do know come on, I don't know, I'll try my best. I don't know, like how do people stay unbiased? Like obviously I'm not gonna purposely be biased, but you know, like subconsciously someone could be biased without realizing it. You know what I mean? I don't really have an answer for that. You know what I mean? Does anyone know?
The answer I would have given as political one is just like I would respect the place that I'm currently being nominating for, and fulfill it to the best of my ability.
But you're still biased, though.
No, see, it's a political answer. You don't answer the question. You don't answer the question that they ask.
That's
you
just
answer
being
the question they want you wanted them to ask.
And the answer to the question that you actually asked is by recognizing the implicit biases that you do have and working to balance those.
Or that.
Well, it's pretty eloquent.
Yeah, so just for clarification, as I said before, as a member of the appeals board, you cannot abstain from any vote. So should a vote come up and you are present at that meeting, you have no choice but to vote either yes or no in that situation. If you know something like that is coming up, you could theoretically not show up to that meeting. Their bylaws do say that it is of members present. It's also worth noting that SGA does not have a majority on that board. Student conduct has a majority on that board. So, as bad as it sounds, as bad as that sounds, one voice, it's not going to swing in SGA's favor because we don't hold a majority on.
Well, I mean,
brought up to date about what the appeals board entails.
Yeah, well, I mean, yesterday was, I mean, Liam just said it again, it's three things, just to make sure I'm right. It's SRC reports, people who've lost their stipends can appeal that, and then it's, people who are running for a position and are, like, accused of something by the election board can appeal, and then if anyone on SGA, reports another person for like misuse of property or something like that, then that can also go to the board.
All right. Are there any other questions for Justin? Oh, if I say again, go on. Wow, really? Okay, wonderful. All right, well, if there are no other questions, Finance Board's going to enter a period of discussion. There's not a lot of talk or discussion there, but at the end, we'll open it back up to you if you'd like to respond to anything before this side. If there are any questions. Okay.
Thank you.
Who would like to begin discussion?
I'll begin. I think Sega is a great candidate for this position. She was involved with SGA, and as she stated before, like she's familiar with SRC process, and was on the nominating committee at one point as well. So I think she has enough knowledge about SGA to act as a member of the appeals board, and she is aware of what the position entails. And that she wants to come back and be a part of SGA. I think that's great. And I have no problems with this at all.
Okay. Anyone else?
I don't like to agree or disagree.
Indeed. And any words are words. So.
Yeah.
Who wants to go first?
Yeah, Carly pretty much just said what I was thinking. She's been in SGA before, so she knows, so she's familiar with how things are, and also like I feel like she knows, she knows what the workload is like. So I feel like she would do it to the best of her ability.
I was going to say the multiple aspects of experience are valuable, and Saya has been able to confirm availability and the ability to meet the time dedication that's required.
Anyone else?
Yeah, but also just capitalize on our experience and like perspective and like answer to our questions or like to our satisfaction, and also in being attended yesterday and hearing speaking on her behalf and her answers to their questions as well. I would like to be more than in agreement with confirming her to this position. Based on that, and some of the things that were previously mentioned.
All right. Are we ready to go? Or is there any other discussion points? Scott?
Can I put a motion on the floor?
Can I let her respond?
We're going to finish off discussion first. Yeah. All right. Now we're going to allow her to ask questions, or we can first, but do you have any other discussion points? So you got any questions for us? Or do you have anything to respond to? All right. Is there a motion on the floor?
Move to approve JL 04-1819.
All right. All those for approving JL 041819, raise your hands now. 7-4, 0 against, 0 abstaining. Congratulations, sir.
Yes, because it was introduced for the Senate.
Okay.
Okay.
So you guys are actually doing the opposite.
Do I need to do that? I do
Yes,
need
we
to
do.
Yeah.
So I will take pictures. You'll have copies.
Oh, someone give me that oath paper.
Anyone have their
So stick your name there instead of center. It'll be SG representative, the SG appeals board.
Yeah. All right. You're doing this again. Welcome back. You're back in the game. We ready?
Yeah.
Okay. I. Yeah. Right hand up.
Yeah.
I do too? Okay. I state your name.
I say I
Do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the office of Appeals Board
the office of the board
of the UMBC Student Government Association, and will, to the best of my ability, promote and defend the interests and well-being of UMBC's undergraduate students. Congratulations.
So, not a paid position, so.
Yeah.
Shows me we can get cleared by payroll. It's nice.
Yeah. Our next person.
Oh, so you have to shake.
Right. Now we have stilettos in the room. We're running a little behind, so I'd like to get started immediately. Welcome to Stilettos, correct?
Yeah.
Welcome to Finance Board. We're going to start this off with a round of introductions. So Cecina, over there, she'll be asking. You guys received a list of questions beforehand, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So she'll be the one asking. She'll be the one asking you those questions.
No, it wasn't me prior.
Oh, I thought I was biased, I'm sorry.
Cecina, you've been voluntold to do so. So Cecina, would you like to bring in introductions?
Yes, I'm Sosina, Finance Board Representative, voting member, and my pronouns are she, her.
My name is Kanal, Finance Board Representative, pronouns he, him, and I'm a voting member.
I'm Jessica John, Finance Board Secretary, she, her pronouns.
Hi, Promise Roshan, SGA Treasurer, and she, her pronouns, I'm a working member.
Eric Bedford, Vice President of UCC.
Liam Kim, I use your pronouns, I'm a senator, and I'm a non-voting member.
Hello, Joshua Gray, Christian Ambassador, he, him pronouns.
I'm Tori Heasley, I'm the coordinator for student organizations. I'm Finance Board Advisor, she, hers.
Hi, I'm Zane, I'm the Vice President for Student Organizations, he, him pronouns, and I'm a voting member.
Hello, I'm Daniel White. I'm the current chair of the Finance Board. I use he, him pronouns. I'm a voting member.
I am Tanya. Position is Vice Chair for Finance Board. I use she, her pronouns, and I am a voting member. Welcome.
Hi, my name is Jessica, and I'm not a voting member, but I use she.
And introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm C. Ocean, I'm Treasurer of Stilettos, and I use she, her pronouns.
Hi, I'm Kat Joyce I'm President of Stilettos, and I use she, her pronouns.
Scott Buchanan, Finance Board Representative, voting member, he.
Wonderful. Cecina, take it away.
Can you tell us about your organization?
We're an all-female acapella group, and we meet every Sunday and Wednesday to rehearse, and then we have like one concert every year to show everyone what we do.
Please tell us about the event that you're requesting.
It's the end of the fall semester concert, and we usually have a couple other acapella groups come join us and sing some of their arrangements, and then we'll perform the arrangements we've been working on all semester.
How did you come to this number of attendance?
It was a rough estimate based on past years, and yeah.
And how are you advertising for the event?
We'll be doing online, like on social media, we'll do
General Commons Vision?
Yeah, general commons. We're gonna do banners, quarter cards, flyers, stuff like that.
And a follow-up question is, have you made a My UMBC event?
Not yet.
Not yet.
But we will do that, yeah.
Okay. And what is your organization doing to minimize the cost?
We keep it pretty simple. Like we don't really, we just basically have people show up and stuff. I don't really know that much about this, but we don't have any like catering. We don't do any like ticketing. We just have people show up and watch the concert and then leave. So yeah, we try to keep it simple.
So is your organization taking on any costs?
We were hoping to have most of them covered like the other years, but I'm not really sure what have been covered in previous years versus like this year. But usually I think we get audiovisual and like security and stuff like that covered. Or not us, but like
That's awesome.
Is there any other questions for the organization?
So can you share a bit about like other events or something things that you do like on campus or like anything that Stilettos is known for?
Yeah, we perform at the other acapella concerts, like the UBC Moms Boys and the UBC Kleptomaniacs. We also do, we used to perform at Involvement Fest, but then they stopped doing that because of microphone issues. So
We also performed at Quadmania.
Quadmania. And we also did, I think it was last year we did, what was that vegetarian thing? It was like, what was it? I think so. Yeah, I think we did that one year. And we also go to other groups off campus. We perform with them as well, like Boston trails and like stuff like that.
Any additional questions for the organization?
So you mentioned a little bit about advertising stuff. You said you're making a funding scheme. I don't know if I just missed that.
Yeah. Oh, we will. Yeah.
Just to ensure that you're advertising to like not members.
Yeah. Yeah.
Other questions? If not, we're about to enter a period of discussion. Discussion is limited to finance board members only. A finance board member may choose to direct a question to you. However, barring that, that's the only ability you have to speak in this current discussion period. After discussion is over, we will open up to you to allow for you to respond to anything a finance board member has said, or if you have questions for the finance board before we go. Discussion points.
I can start.
Back up.
So again, this is like basic general common fees. I'm from the host event. I also look from the organization for like minimizing costs and like keeping it very simple. But again, like these are all like costs we always fund for student organizations that events on campus, and to be able to have their event run efficiently. So we'll be in full support of funding this.
Are there any? Personally, I feel we can move. Right. Tori, just one more question. Are they limited funding organization?
Yes.
All right. Just another one, just for clarification point. Event is open to all UMBC public, UMBC undergraduate body, so it satisfies the requirements for a limited funding organization to receive funding from the finance board.
It also says that we have to ask for students.
We don't have to. We don't have
If
to.
they have dues, you have to ask how much the dues are.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if they pay dues, but they have like auditions.
I understand.
Which makes them a funding organization.
They do not have dues listed in their
Okay.
constitution, just
It's just
the
limited,
tryouts.
but limited, but sure. Right. Seeing that, Josh, will you open up the legislation track for me, please? Thank you very much.
I'm gonna ask you to pause just real quick because I think there were some changes from base camp, just some cost. I'm not positive. Is this the most updated one?
Should be.
Let me just double check real quick. if you guys
Double
see
check
any.
that.
Because it
What's
doesn't
the-
include housekeeping, right?
We actually can't accept motions right now because I need to actually give them a chance to speak. That's the thing I
Yeah,
need
it's different.
to fix that. Right, it's different? Okay. So we need to make a modification to that. Did you need to do that?
Audiovisual is going to be 571, doing a new total of, I'm gonna give you line item and
Yeah.
total.
571.
Security is the same at 196.
Okay.
Marketing is the same at 200.
Okay.
Ticketing is 210.
210.
And recital hall use fee is still 25. So it makes the new total 1202.
Well, that leads to those in total. Sounds good. So, seeing that, we open it up back to you guys. Do you have any questions or would you like to respond to anything the finance board member has said?
So this is the most updated because I know I've been kind of contacting back and forth.
So, Brit Spears gave us a new event planning form, and the new total is 1202.
Okay, yeah. Before the original one, we had housekeeping costs, and we don't anymore. I was wondering why that is.
Oh, so
I'm pretty sure they don't, and this is just me making it a guess. I do not do Brit's job and don't want to. I'm pretty sure that with the recital hall, they don't need housekeeping fees. So she said like that got taken off initially, and then some other things just went up based on staffing for them. So it was nothing obviously on your part. That was just events and conferences, working with what they have and seeing what they needed.
Okay.
So, yeah, but you don't need housekeeping. She did say that in our meeting before finance board tonight, that with what you're renting, like the recital hall, you don't need housekeeping for
Okay.
it.
I have another question. Ticket staffing. We don't have any tickets per se that were, like it's all free. Like
It's essentially like crowd control.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. Okay, well that's all I got.
To make sure that it's like not over capacity.
Okay. Yeah.
okay. Now, is any other questions or comments? Wonderful. I am now accepting motions.
What's the tracker for?
Tracker.
Oh,
Move to approve FPL 47, 18, 19.
Second.
All right, all those for approving FPL 47, 18, 19, raise your hands now. 7 for, 0 against, 0 abstaining. Congratulate. Thank you very much. We can't say congratulations because sometimes we don't get fully funded. Things take that point. But thank you very much for coming out to finance court. Tanya will speak to you on the way out. She has next steps. And if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, please relay those to her and she'll get back to us.
Thank you.
Thank you again for coming to the finance court.
Thank you.
Just Claude is in the room, 6:40. 4 minutes behind. But Jessica Kwan.
As long as you say your last name.
Okay. Beautiful. There we go. Jessica Kwan is being nominated as the election board chair. So, Liam, do you want to do the first introduction and then we'll turn it back to Jessica?
Of course. So this is Jessica Kwan, the nomination for the vote of 4 members saying yes with 1 absent to be the election board chair. The election board chair basically chairs the election board, and they're the ones who determine the rules, the regulations, and the format of SGA elections that occur in May, and any special elections that may occur during the year at the request of the president with time ample and information given to the candidates. The election board chair receives a stipend of about $1,000, which will be paid through, so she will be on the payroll member. And after this, she becomes a member of the nominating committee, in turn to then nominate members of the election board, who will again come to you guys through joint legislation. Again, since it is a joint legislation, it has to be passed with at least a 2/3 majority.
Jessica, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Jessica Kwan, and I am a sophomore. My major is biology, BS, and I also have minors in psychology. So, in regards to introducing my experience, and that will hopefully help me as a board chair, I served on the board last semester as a member. I helped with the marketing aspect of it, as well as just in general as a member, helping both in regards to legislation, etc., regarding the next year elections. And so hopefully I can chair and definitely help increase voter turnout, which was low last year. I have set plans and ideas in regards to how to address that issue and to really help students get more involved.
Questions for Jessica? Scott?
Can you elaborate on what your role was last year and what you're going to specifically do to increase voter turnout?
So last year, I had certain responsibilities. So all members, regardless.
Somebody flip the door, please. Yeah. I can't hear.
So basically, all members, regardless of their committee position, we all voted on legislation to help write the rules for elections, as well as fostering the promotion of the SGA elections, as well as running the events. I also had an additional task as a marketing committee member and helped vote on designs for the SGA elections, as well as further utilizing my network to help promote the elections to others. And how I hope to carry that forward. I've since strengthened my network with other student organizations on campus, and I plan to personally reach out to students who really connect with them and really encourage them to vote.
Other questions for Jessica? All right, Joshua.
Okay, beyond student organizations, how are you going to reach the student that just goes to class and goes right to the door?
And so how we plan on approaching that is that there's going to be a change in the format of the SGA elections. Last year, there was a format of online voting from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. So we are switching that format where we have in extended elections where there's a pre-voting period, which occurs a week before the actual elections, where students have the opportunity to really learn about the candidates available, and afterwards there is in-person polling. And the purpose of that switching format is because although the online format was accessible, and which is why we will keep on using it, it wasn't very active in involving students. By having in-person polling, we are able to actually talk to students to tell them about the elections, have them interested, as well as physically be there to let them vote.
Are there other questions for Jessica? Scott?
Do these initiatives extend to getting people to actually run in the first place?
Yes. So one thing that I noticed from last year, besides the lack of applications, was that there is a very big strength in personally reaching out to students to let them know of their potential and the benefits of being involved with student government on campus. And so I plan on reaching out to different scholars programs and to the Stratford Center and to faculty to help nominate potential candidates for the SGA elections, as well as when I help nominate and select the new board members, I'm really putting an emphasis on their ability to utilize the network to personally reach out to students, because I believe that word of mouth and really connecting with students personally is the best way to motivate them to get involved on campus.
Additional questions for Jessica? All right, I have one. So I know you said you were a freshman.
I'm sophomore.
Oh, sophomore. I'm sorry. You do apologize, sophomore. Carly and I, both of us, as we're old people now, so we're seniors, and we've seen quite a few SGA elections. And in the years before us, SGA elections have been plagued, I'd say, yeah, plagued with corruption sometimes.
Yeah.
Corruption and scandal. I don't mean to scare you in any way, of course.
Yeah.
But,
We are online stream.
I mean, there's not a false statement.
I just.
Yeah. So my question, of course, for you is like, how I want to understand in previous experiences dealing with crisis, essentially during the elections, a lot of things are popping up and popping quickly. How do you feel like you'll be able to address these?
So I am someone who is a very fast learner and I'm very adaptable. Those are skills that I always like to manage. For example, last year, I immediately, despite the change in the environment and my transition into a college lifestyle, I was very quick to grow lots of leadership positions and to be involved on campus. I faced multiple instances of whether it be like voter apathy or like trying to get students involved. I faced those kinds of situations before. Definitely not at the scale of student body, but I'm confident I'm able to transfer these skills forward. The other part of it is that being able to think on my feet is a skill that I wish to use in my profession. So I'm a pretty nice student, and so I'm someone who believes in following rules, following ethics, and being efficient in how I approach things. I'm very organized and structured, and I'm confident that I'll be myself in any places.
Wonderful. So I'm going to keep rolling on. Is there another question from the board? Yeah. Okay. So, can you speak on what you would expect of finance board, of the election board, essentially, the members of your board?
So I believe that having visible passion is incredibly important when serving on the board, especially when we're dealing with such a wide campus with a lot of commuter students who might feel not as involved, or a lot of first-year students who are confused about how student government works on campus. It's incredibly important that we portray ourselves physically as being very excited and very dedicated to our purpose as election board. And I was able to actually visually see what it was like to really see students be interested in what I had to say. I personally put a lot of effort when I was serving as a board member by being very active on shifts. I would stand for 3 hours at a time just so that students would be able to physically see me standing and being willing to share information about the elections that were upcoming, as well as candidate applications. I expect that same kind of figure the election board members, because although it's a short time that they're serving, I expect them to serve their all, because that's what will really help involve students as well as gather candidates and really gain some interest and positive outlook on student.
Okay. Other questions?
I don't know if I might have missed if you already touched on this before, but what is your involvement in like other activities in terms of like time commitment for this semester and for next semester? You know, I'm talking about registering for classes next semester.
Right. And so, in regards to this semester, it's mostly going to be sort of like a planning and transitioning, really reaching out to potential members and solidifying that first. Therefore, it is not as huge of a time commitment as it will just be mostly like interviewing, consulting with the nominating committee, etc., as really having that foundation set. So in regards to my time commitments, I do have a lot of things going on, but that will definitely decrease next semester. In regards to giving you a specific example, this semester I'm taking 20 credits, but I'm deliberately taking 15 credits next semester so that I'm able to really focus and dedicate my time on election board and really hoping that it will be a big success. So, yeah. I'm also like involved in other things on campus, but again, this has never stopped me in being able to fully fulfill my role. For example, last semester I also took 20 credits, but I still was able to maintain my position as an election board member, as well as making other leadership roles on campus. So I'm very confident in my time management ability and being able to really follow through with whatever I sign up for.
So it was mentioned earlier that there are going to be, or there's a potential that there will be times where something will happen very suddenly that has to be addressed just as suddenly. And as someone who also relies on time management, that isn't necessarily always going to be in favor of the time management strategies. How do you intend to compensate for those areas?
So in regards to being able to, I guess what you are asking is if I'm willing to push aside other responsibilities.
So if something like happens and it disrupts your time management,
right,
what's your plan to handle that?
So I'm very used to having sudden things happen and shape my schedule constantly. That's why whenever I formulate my schedule and my tasks to do, I'm very flexible, and I keep that in mind because you never know what might happen, and that's the same way that I will approach my position as SGA election board chair, because I expect things to happen, and it's always important to expect the unexpected, and I'm also prepared for that.
So I would like to end questioning and move into discussion. Very well, continue.
Sorry, I missed part of it. Can you just touch on your intentions on increasing voter turnout?
So in regards to that, there's going to be a change in the election format for this coming year. So there will be a pre-election format similar to one of an actual election, in that there will be a 3-day online voting format, because it's accessible and allows the students to really start moving their feet and build hype on interest in the SGA elections. And then the following week, there will be in-person polling. And what that will do is really give us some representation of the SGA election board and really help engage students and draw students into voting.
All right. Well, Scott, you had something?
So, I agree with you that, like, I don't know how to word it. So, like, reaching out to specific students is the most effective way to get people involved.
Right.
But, like you were mentioning more like honor society, more like, I guess, elite places. How would you reach out to people who aren't in those or not already involved?
So I have a couple of ideas in regards to that. So in regards to approaching the resident population on campus, which makes up not just the scholars but all students in general, for that specific demographic, I work as the Director of Advocacy and Leadership for the Resident Student Association. I plan on assisting and encouraging community councils to hold events to help promote the elections. This was an attempt that was started last year by Sophia, and it really helped increase voter turnout in regards to that population. I also intend on really approaching the community population as well through the morning commuters and other personal interaction opportunities in order to engage students as well. I think it's important to hit every demographic that we can. It's not just the honors and scholars students. That's just because it's convenient, because they have a head person to contact. But I also plan on really approaching all students because it's important that every student feels like they have a voice.
All right. I'd like to move into discussion. Okay. So during discussion, conversation is limited to only 2 finance board members. After discussion is over, you'll be given an opportunity to ask any questions to the board, as well as to address anything the board has said before we move on to a vote. All right. Jessica seems like a very qualified candidate.
I was just
asking. She's been on every single point that we've asked so far, and I have no qualms with vote. I'm passing it to her.
Very conservative change.
Yes.
Yeah.
That
You
was
guys
kind
have?
of using her experience from last year. She already had like a lot of ideas.
I'm not working too.
Committed. She wants everyone else to be really committed. She can handle it. Like clearly, with how she handled it last semester,
That's 20.
Like wow, impressive. Good stuff.
Right.
For it.
So,
of course. So just in like also like getting to know Jessica over this past semester, I can definitely attest to like answers that she said in terms of like time management, like balance, dedication to her work, and whatnot. She's always on top of it. to really affect their environment election board transition.
Wonderful. All right, so we'll open it up back to Jessica. Do you have any questions or comments?
So, although I do have experience serving as a board member last semester, given that I was a freshman, that was the first and only election I've witnessed thus far. I was wondering if I could possibly hear any advice in regards to experiences from even more further back.
Seniors.
Seniors.
I would like to think that the average SGA candidate remains more dedicated to the rules compared to previous years.
I think the most important thing is whenever you're meeting with your election board and coming with the election rules, as specific as possible, even with election rules, so that people can't try to find loopholes and stuff. I don't know if that's what people did, yonder back when, shit hit the fan. Excuse my French. But I think, just being specific and having the election board kind of around and aware of what's going on. Whenever, especially if you're talking about in-person polling places, I would just say be very careful with that and make sure you have a lot of people around to keep track of if there are candidates kind of lingering around, trying to coerce people to do something or whatever it may be. So as long as you're on your game and you know exactly what you're doing, exactly how it's going to go, and you're very intentional about that, I think you'll keep everyone in check. So.
The thing is, make it decisive, right? When the election board makes a share, make it known, make it, provide the reason for it, and if they want to throw things at your decision, let them. It's just as long as if you believe you made a good decision, stick with it, all right? Because people are gonna come like, I'm like, well, you're making the rules,
Yeah, you'll get a lot of complaints, so just be ready for that.
Just be ready for that.
This is the decision. This is it. If you want to set a 3 strikes you're out policy or whatever you want to do,
just follow through with what you
consistent.
believe is
And
right.
this is what it is.
Indeed. All right, Tanya.
Can't really comment on when things hit the fan, but just general advice. There was a lot of comments last year from the student body that they had no idea when elections were, so I would just say early and vivid, open advertisement for that.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any more comments or questions?
No.
Okay. Wonderful. Motions.
What's that?
Go for it. Okay. Move to approve JL 03-1819.
All right. All those for approving JL 03-1819. Raise your hands now. 7 for, 0 against, 0 opposing. Congratulations, Jessica. Have fun. It's gonna be a good time.
Hello, boys and girls, children of all ages. It's time
Perfect,
for
Brown, you can sit back here if you want to just fill out a little sign and
Oh!
your name on it. Take some candy, take some minutes,
I love doing democratic.
That's
not the
Democrats.
The Democrats.
7, 1 0, 0, 0.
All right, you ready for this oath of office? You guys ready for it? All right,
I
pictures?
Yeah.
All right, wonderful. So whenever I say state your name, I say your name.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
I'm on like my chair kind of project, so I'm just kind of running on that.
All right. I state your name.
I, Jessica Kwon,
Do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the office of Election Board Chair
the office of Election Board Chair
of the UMBC Student Government Association
of the UMBC Student Government Association
and will,
and will,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
promote and defend the interests and well-being of UMBC's undergraduate students. I'll go one at a time. Promote and defend
promote and defend
the interests and well-being
the interests and well-being
of UMBC's undergraduate students.
of UMBC's undergraduate students. Yay!
You need to set up an appointment with Candace because you are on payroll.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You cannot work until you're on payroll.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kyle will help you get that sorted through, but yeah.
Do it as soon as possible.
I will show that.
Give me that. Are you Caitlin?
I am.
Oh, is this what your name is?
Yeah.
I didn't have a chance yet. All right, wonderful.
License check, so you should be able to.
Language.
Go take a second.
Because instead of a swear jar, you're adding to my mouth into a dick.
If you click on it,
It's like adding $1. Instead, you're just.
Sure.
So do.
Okay.
That's it.
No.
Should we like not do that?
It's a problem. It's a problem.
How to do it.
That doesn't take you.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this is Caitlin. She is going to be the second nominee for the Appeals Board of SGA. And again, to remind the Appeals Board is the judicial branch of SGA. They will investigate if there's any issues that go on with the 3 main issues, which would be stipend issues, elections issues if you are disqualified, and if one SGA officer has a complaint against another SGA officer involving any material provision or any violation of constitutions, bylaws, and any other guiding documents.
All right. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. So my name is Caitlin Kaufman. I'm a junior political science major with a policy minor. I did SGA, I was more involved in my freshman year. I met Bentley during my orientation, and he invited me to come to the SGA retreat the summer before my freshman year, so I guess that was 2016. My freshman year, I served on the service and community outreach department team thing, and then I was also on the stipend review committee. I kind of took a break from SGA. I involved myself in a lot of different things throughout my freshman year and kind of had to pick and choose which ones I stuck with, but when Colin asked me about this position, I was definitely very interested and very much looking forward to having a way to get back in without dedicating all of my time to SGA again.
Okay. Questions for Caitlin?
Okay, I have a question.
All right.
So how, I guess, up to date or like knowledgeable are you about like the appeals board and like what it does?
So Colin kind of filled me in on everything, and basically it doesn't meet unless something goes wrong. I got the question yesterday of how knowledgeable I was with the current constitution and things of that nature. And the way that I kind of responded to that was that I obviously worked with it a little bit my freshman year, but I've experienced on a number of different executive boards, and so kind of my ability to read and understand constitutions and things like that is fairly up to date. So again, with this position, I think that I would be able to use those skills in order to understand that, even though I haven't been as involved as year.
Good all.
So you're a mock trial, of course, we talked yesterday. Mock trial is a big commitment.
Mm-hmm.
So an appeals board doesn't meet as often. So if on the off chance it does happen, will you be flexible enough to put the appeals board right?
So I'll be able to be flexible in terms of scheduling things, but for instance, if there was the off chance that the only way that they could meet was the same day as our regionals, I would pick regionals over that particular meeting. And again, in terms of scheduling, I have time slots that are open throughout the week, but there just are a couple of things, especially with mock, that my commitment with them is just unfortunately a little higher.
Additional questions?
Just quick worth mentioning that for when it comes to stipends, the board has an extended time to review those, but when it comes to election violations, the maximum waiting point is 48 hours after the violation occurs that the election board has to meet if the convener is called. So that is a hard deadline in those situations because of how fast-paced elections are.
My question, do you have tournaments in, what is it, April? Because that's the election happening in April, right?
Yeah, elections are happening.
So Nationals happens the third weekend in April. But like
That's like, it's just like, do I get to national?
it's a matter. We got to Nationals 2 years ago and didn't get there last year, but the chances of it happening are probably like 50% at this point. But but it's also just in Philly, so it's not like I'm completely booked the entire 48 hours I'm there. If there's a chance that I could like video in to a meeting or something like that, I can absolutely make time to do that. It's just a matter of be physically there.
Okay. Okay. Additional questions?
Yes. This is a stipended position?
This is not a stipended position.
Okay.
So, that's it. The commitment, of course, is lower. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The position itself is low.
Yeah, it doesn't,
It doesn't
get
mean
called.
Yeah.
It rarely gets called.
That's the main situation, because the idea would be in a perfect situation, the appeals board would never have to meet, in which case someone thought maybe we shouldn't be paying someone $500 to basically not do anything if everything goes right, which is what we're hoping for. But that is just how the tradition works.
Right. Well, additional questions, or can we move on? Oh, Cecilia.
Sorry, I was in the bathroom, but so do you have like any prior, like, have you been in a shooting before?
Yeah,
Oh,
so,
Yep. All right. Seeing as there are no other questions, I'd like to move into discussion.
wait, I kind of.
Okay, Garland.
So, where's my question? Sorry, I was like thinking of how to word it in my head, and then you're like, anyway, question like this. So, I guess how would you go about approaching an appeal then, as like, or with your knowledge of SGA? How's it if you were brought up with an appeal about like an SRC and stuff like that? What do you mean? I guess like how would you evaluate that appeal? I guess how would you go about approaching an appeal of like there is a discrepancy of someone's SRC report or like the stipend that they received and how you feel about like reviewing that appeal, I guess.
Sure. So I think my experience with the SRC would definitely help with that in terms of kind of knowing how that process works. But obviously looking into maybe further detail as to how the SRC made that decision or to how whoever is making the decisions that are in question, kind of why that took place and where those discrepancies are, and just figuring out at what point it kind of passes the line. Does that answer your question? Yes. Okay.
Right. All right, Carly, can I do the thing? We'll move to discussion. All right. So during discussion, only finance board members may speak. After discussion is over, we will offer you a question and comment phase essentially. We can ask the board anything you want. If you want to comment anything, free to do that as well. All right. Who would like to begin discussion? No.
Like Caitlin. All
right. Straightforward. Now she's qualified. I just like her.
Yeah, qualified.
She's a nice person.
Qualified to be the appeals board. I feel like even though Montreal would present a big commitment, but I feel like she would be able to handle it very well. And yeah.
Yeah, so in my mind, it's just the appeals board, of course, is one of those vague institutions that the SGA has. It's like, oh yeah, it exists, and it's supposed to do these things. But when was the last time the appeals board got called together is my thing.
You know the last
And, huh?
You know the last
I don't remember. I haven't heard of the appeals board being convened in at least 2 years. So,
It was 2.5 years ago.
Yeah, no
one
one's
stipend
listening.
issue.
yeah. So like,
The last time it convened 2.5 years ago.
when I'm saying, I'm not like, like, okay, you don't get paid either. I'm not like very big on like, I don't assume the worst case scenario. Like, okay, well, they're gonna get inundated with appeals this year because something's going wrong. From Caitlin's responses though, my big thing about the appeals board is the ability to learn quickly. Because it's like, if things do hit the fan, you gotta learn quick, you gotta start reading things, you gotta understand what's going on. Caitlin seems well acquainted with that. She has, well, not massive amounts of previous SGA experience. It's sufficient enough basis for me to believe that she can develop very well off of that into any crisis that occur. Okay.
Agreed.
All right.
Yeah.
So, can we open it up back to Caitlin? Caitlin, you got any questions for us? No. All right. I'm looking for a motion.
Move to approve JL 02189.
All right. All those for approving JL 021819, raise your hands down. 7 for, 0 against, 0 abstaining. Congratulations. There we go.
Oh.
Come up here. We gotta do the thing of democratic thought process.
Democracy.
Oh.
Democracy.
I love democracy.
He says,
Alright.
I voted sticker.
Alright, when I say state your name, say your name. Wonderful.
Got that right.
Okay. I state your name.
I, Caitlin Hoffman,
Okay. do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the office of Appeals Board
the office of Appeals Board
of the UMBC Student Government Association
of the UMBC Student Government Association
and will,
and will,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
promote and defend
promote and defend
the interests and well-being
the interests and well-being
of UMBC's undergraduate students.
of UMBC's undergraduate students.
All right.
Turned out a perfect moment.
Are you done looking at?
Yep, that's a wrap.
You can stay if you'd like, but I haven't eaten in a while.
Ooh,
So I'm gonna do
that's
that.
amazing.
That's more important. Do I
Take some
need
chips
to
in
do
it.
anything else?
Nope, you're not getting paid, so
Oh.
you're not getting paid.
I mean,
So you are good. Pat should go through a college to sign off on it, but just talk to him and he'll let you know. You'll also be contacted by the convener for that
I mean, I have to talk to Tom.
Oh,
No, I.
All right. Congratulations, we're through the meeting, everyone, at 7:14, except for some other things that we need to do. But, announcements! Announcements, people!
SRC report.
Well, listen, that's all time now, right?
SIC reports are due at 11:59 p.m. on Thursday. Just your self-evaluations.
Wow.
Yeah, fabulous.
Do over your limit.
How many more do we have after this one?
This one has 4 self-evaluations and the peer evaluation due on the last one. 2 self.
Two more.
More after this.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Any other announcements? Scott?
I did not make it to Rocky Horror Show, but a friend of mine did.
It's not announcements right now.
Oh.
It's not announcements. All right, don't let us later.
Okay. Well, that was an
I like the enthusiasm, but not right now. All right, announcements though, things that are happening, the happenings.
Things that are happening include, can I go over the draft plan?
Oh, I guess, well, I don't know, we had mentioned this before in prep meeting, but I guess to like let the rest of the board know. So Club Cheer was having issues, or there was some discrepancy between how SABSC was handling the check for that we approved Club Cheer, which was like on like September 25th or so, I think is when we saw them. And there were issues with how the gym or whatever was being paid, and that hasn't gone through yet. And it's coming up because like they actually started going to this gym like this month.
Next week.
So
Yeah, we do.
yeah, like next week. So
And they need to come home with $1,800.
yeah, and so there, I don't know what exactly fell through, but David Warrior tried to send in one kind of check, and that bounced back because the gym didn't accept that or something, and then they had to send in another kind of check, which takes 4 to 6 weeks to process. But we were only just me, Tori, and Danny were only just notified of this about a couple of days ago from Club Cheer and David Warrior. So they're kind of screwed over, and this happened last year apparently with their organization, where they couldn't spend the money that finance board had allocated, and they didn't get reimbursed for it as well from last year's president.
So yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, we have to pay $10 out of pocket for every practice for 4 months.
Did we explain the Arabs Union one already? Or why they didn't come in?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Any other announcements?
There's one.
Oh,
That has a link.
yeah. So if you guys haven't emailed your organizations yet,
I have.
all right, good.
None of them responded.
None of them responded.
When did you email that?
What, like, when we first started?
We're gonna do it again.
Okay.
Well, time for round 2, indeed, because if we spam their entire email, so the entire, like, when they open up the page, it's just from us, they'd have to look at it.
Just a thought, I don't know if you just sent to treasurers, but like second time around, what I like to do is if the position doesn't respond to me, then I email all of their e-board that's listed and the advisor on the split. You don't have to, just if like the treasurer doesn't answer.
Yeah.
So like if I just need to get in touch with the treasurer and I don't get a response in like whatever time frame I need it in, then I follow up and I copy everybody on it.
Okay.
Right.
Effective.
So, I
And
formulated
most advisors that are like hands-on will be like, hey, let's do
Yeah.
this.
So, Time is drafting an email essentially for this. And Cecina. Sorry, Cecina. I didn't give you credit for that one, but I saw the first. Okay. Cecina and I can't even use that excuse. Cecina. Not bad. But, there you go. It's kind of, yeah. Okay, we're gonna make a little couple edits though. But still, remember guys, this thing, when I get the annotations done for it, I'll send it out. A reminder to everyone to send them out to your organizations. what I'm expecting from you with these organizations, when they have an event, when they have a request coming in, you review that request with them, okay? Go through that, make sure they have everything in line, okay? So that when they come in, they don't have surprises. All right, the precedent sheet's nearly done as well. You utilize that as your reference sheet. Everything you do say, though, remember to preface it like this. This is your opinion, not the opinions of the board. You cannot guarantee the board will vote any single way. That's my big disclaimer for all of you. Because, hey, you know, the board can do these things. So you cannot issue guarantees, all right? We do not want anyone going like, but Kunal said that the finance board would give us $60,000. And we're like, well, Kunal, did we really do that? Yeah. So we can't have those types of situations occur. So that's what I'm expecting from you guys. One of the things I really do want this program to do, though, is that right now the finance board is not supporting all organizations on campus. That is the way we should, I believe, because only 180 to 110 student organizations come to the finance board. I do not believe that the other 150 some student organizations have no costs. You know, I just think that they aren't applying simply because either A, we've never done it before, and we're like, oh, what is this? And / B, they just don't even know that it exists very well. Yeah.
And I think, just to add on to that, like, also putting SGA is like more than financial support in terms of like leadership development, like workshops that like SOST is going to do along with like coordinatory as well, like using it as like a resource other than financial as well, because sometimes like I know a lot of organizations will like die out or decrease or like actually cease to exist because you know they don't have enough like transition leadership, like people are confused about what to do, or like leadership development in general. Like members don't think like, oh, I can never be an executive board member, or I can never like, you know, do a leadership thing in my club because like I don't feel confident enough or things like that. So I think that's also another thing to talk about and kind of like market as well, which I can have like updates on that too when I meet with like Matilda and like others to discuss those like types of sessions. But yeah, I think financial support, like research services, anyone. No, it's just people are like confirmed by Senate. So, which I don't know why, but
Also, they build the operations. That's a good SGA.
Yeah, they're executive branch, so they really don't fall under the purview of that board plan. Well, yeah.
So that's what I'm expecting of you guys. In the future, I'd like to have it so you guys introduce legislations. So remember, legislation doesn't have everything, and if it goes wrong, I get to blame you guys now. So that's going to be on you guys to make sure that the organizations have their documentation, that organizations know what they want to.
Another accountability check is another way to phrase it.
Yes. See, this is why you're here.
Yes.
Making my speech a little bit better. Right.
People work better with deadlines, so contact everybody by next week.
We could start on that, like.
I mean, it's not very difficult, guys. You just fill in the blanks. Yeah. So by next week, yeah. CC me on all emails. BCC, please. BCC. BCC. Make it blank. They don't need to know I'm watching everything.
Oh, I was saying also include Carly and myself on that too.
Carly and Zane as well.
BCC, Carly, and myself.
Yeah, and Tanya.
And Tanya. How about the whole?
How about the whole finance? Honestly, just CC the unless you guys really want an inundation of each other's emails.
Oh god.
That's literally on you guys. You can't BCC the finance board listserv, and you can bother
Please don't.
and
Please
you can
don't.
bother so many
Why?
people.
I would just say for me, in case
I'm kidding.
problems like myself or like Carly or like leadership.
Or you don't want 80 emails?
No.
You don't want
Why
to
not?
Alright, I'll do exact.
So
They'll
BCC,
tell me.
Carly, Daniel, Tanya, and Zane.
Yeah.
All the time.
Half the board, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Keep it in class.
More
The people that you evaluate during that leadership evaluation?
That's who you
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so that's that. Yeah, that's a wrap, everyone. That's
Hold
a wrap.
on. I have one more thing. I'm going to be that human. Sorry. Okay, so in addition to doing this as an attempt to build relationships with student organizations and whatnot, you all received an email over the weekend, probably at 1 in the morning or somewhere between 5 and 6 somewhere in the day. It was partially discussed over the summer of having something that allows them to get to know us before they come into the meeting, so it's a little less intimidating. Some of you responded to this email, and no one really fully covered everything within the form for the summer. We're going to do one-on-one style, so you're going to get another email from me of scheduling a time to be able to complete that so that it gets done.
See, Tanya liked you so much, she wants to go sit down and talk to you one-on-one.
What is it about again? One more time.
It's a good profile.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Put the Instagram filters, everyone was great. Yeah.
So yeah, make sure you have a photo ready that you're comfortable with sharing with all the student body. Okay.
Alright, so I invite Snapchat for 2 weeks. No.
Let's go through it, whatever.
Yeah. Alright, let's end this meeting.
Wait.
Recognize.
I'll skip the
After
Oh,
adjourn with Tanya.
Yeah, that's it.
Alright. I recognize that I am present, Tanya's present, Scott's present, Cecilia's present, Kunal's present, Jessica's present, Carly's present. Okay, Zane's present. Yeah, Joshua's present. I don't know, it seems like you're technically not, you know, it's like the tennis policy doesn't apply to you, but like.
Is he a member? He's a member. He's a member.
You
Stop saying
included
that.
him for call and you included for call.
Alright, it's done.
I need to tomorrow.